How you doing, everybody? It's me, Waddles, and welcome to my gold farm tutorial. Have you found yourself searching for a gold farm that is efficiently automatic? Are you looking for a gold farm that is insanely easy to use, taking these things down in one hit every single time? If the answer is yes to either of those questions or even more, then this is the tutorial for you. Let's do this. Do me a quick favor, tap that like button, and let's take a look at the supplies. To build this farm in exact amounts per layer, you will need 6 stacks of magma blocks and a half more. How we're going to set it up today, we'll need approximately 7 stacks of slabs, 3 trapdoors, and a turtle egg per each layer of the farm. We'll also need a boat, 6 hoppers, 2 chests, and about a stack of non-spawnable building blocks. Some other amazing things to have when setting up this farm are maybe some ender pearls and ladders to get on top of the nether. Maybe, just maybe, you might want to way back from the nether, so extra portal, and then of course, scaffolding, so you can get all the way up to the farm. You might want to consider having some pretty good gear too. Now, getting your hands on turtle eggs, that could be a little bit tricky, especially if you've never done it before. To actually be able to get turtle eggs, there are 3 things you're going to need. Thing number 1, we're going to need 2 turtles. It's a great idea to lure them off on the land. Thing number 2, we're going to need seagrass. Feed seagrass to one turtle, feed seagrass to another turtle, and let the romance happen. Now, after you've fed these turtles seagrass, give them a little bit of space. One of them will go over to the beach and lay some eggs. The very final thing you need to do with any Silk Touch tool is mine the eggs. Absolutely don't step on the eggs, you will break them. And only break them with Silk Touch. For this farm, you'll need as many eggs as you have floors. Today, we'll be building 3 floors, but you could build more or less. Location. And for this farm, there are 2 requirements. A specific biome and then a specific spot. Now, Bedrock Gang sad news. The specific spot, I guess technically speaking, you could build this in the low nether. Like, not up on the roof, but the rates aren't going to be anywhere near as good. If you're planning on building this inside the lower part of the nether, then find a lava ocean that's inside of a nether waste biome and set it up there. Or go over to the land and use slabs or something to block a whole lot of spawns. The best spot to build this gold farm is going to be up on the nether roof inside of the nether waste biome. Now, getting up on top of the nether could be a little bit tricky if you've never done it before. First things first, you're going to need to get very high up in the nether. Like, we're talking right next to the ceiling. Then after that, once you've made it all the way up there, start digging out blocks. We're looking for specific blocks on the ceiling of the nether. On Java, we'd have 3, and then look at the blocks. We can see what block we're targeting. For this part, the block that we're targeting is really important. We're looking for a block that is sitting at Y127, just like that one right there. Next step, using ladders or something, build your way all the way up to that block. Climb the ladders and then hold down forward like you're still climbing or something. With an ender pearl in hand, throw it at that block and you'll glitch right into it. Jump up, look straight down, drop a torch or something, and then that's it. You're good to go. You're up on top of the nether. Now, to get back down off of the nether, I highly recommend building a nether portal or something. There are absolutely cool methods that you could use to break the bedrock, so you don't need a portal to go up and down, but for today, a portal is fine. Alright, so that was a lot of prep. Sorry about that, but it's build time. Now that we're up on top of the nether, inside of a nether waste biome that expands at least 30 blocks in every single direction from where we're standing, pick a spot, and with scaffolding or building blocks, start towering all the way up. This should take approximately 2 stacks of whatever you're using. No matter what though, the goal here is to get to the very top of the nether. This is going to send us all the way up to Y255. When I was designing this farm, I had 2 goals. Keep it relatively cheap to build, but make it super efficient. Ride your scaffolding tower, block pillar, whatever it is, all the way up to the top of the nether. And when you do that, you should be at Y256. We're actually going to backtrack a little bit. We'll break this one, and this one, and then we'll be at Y253. Off of the side of the scaffolding, any side, doesn't matter, we're going to need to place a temporary building block. Could be anything. Now, from this temporary block right here, in any direction, we're going to build out 2 blocks and then place a magma block. The spawning platform is going to be built out of magma blocks for this farm, but right now we need to be careful. You see, until we cover this thing a couple blocks up with slabs, gas could technically spawn. To avoid that mess from happening, we'll start with our top platform. And back from the middle block, we're going to need to build out 2 blocks in every single direction and then place 1 magma block. As long as you stay near this farm, you shouldn't have a problem with gas spawning. On the scaffolding side, that counts as 1, that'll be 2. Then another magma block right there. Then we're going to go temporary block, half slab right there, and then build a ring around this thing. Now, while you're building your slab platform today, it's going to need to be on a lower half of a block, or in other words, Y255 and a half. With our full starting ring set up right here, we're going to find the middle of one of these sides and build 8 blocks out. That's going to be 1, this will be 2. After you've done it on one side, move over to the next one, do it again, then do it again, and then finally, do it one more time. Now, it's time to fill it in. we're going to connect these straight sections that we made on every single side. Basically, we're making a gigantic platform here. Sad news, it is going to be a lot of slabs here, but great news, you could build these out of any slab in the world. We are in a nether, so you might want to consider being a little bit more cautious if using burnable things, but technically speaking, you shouldn't end up with any fire up here, so wood should be fine. And so, just a little bit of building later, and we end up with a big platform that looks something like this. From this middle platform that we built, we're now going to move off of the roof of it and get back down to here. We can pull these temporary blocks out, and now it's magma block time. We're going to need to do this same exact thing that we just did, except only this time, it's with magma blocks. From one side, build 8 magma blocks out. After you've done it on one side, move over to the next side. The very final magma block that you place should be aligned with the platform. Nothing should be hanging over. That will be a problem. After you build 8 blocks out in every direction, your job is so simple here. All you need to do is fill the whole platform in, other than that middle area. The middle area, we did not cover it with slabs. There's a 5x5 hole in the exact center. If you place magma blocks in the middle, gas could end up spawning, and then shooting at you, and then blowing up the magma blocks, and then sending you 150 blocks down to the bottom. Be careful. So just a little bit of building later, and we end up with a platform that looks like this. Now, obviously, I assume you're doing this in survival. In survival, if you crouch on the magma blocks, you'll take no damage at all. After your platform looks something like this, it's now time to move to the center and begin to set up the trap. For the rest of this farm today, while using turtle eggs, when you place these things down, do not walk on them. If you stand on it, it'll break and be gone forever. Move back over to the middle of your farm. If you removed your temporary blocks, go ahead and place them back. Over near the middle, like right next to it. On one side, place a trap door, and a trap door. If you jump up and try and place one more, you shouldn't be able to. Now jump down and open those trap doors. They should line up with the middle block, just like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and do that again on the next side, and the next side. After you got your trapdoors placed in, you can go ahead and flip all of them open just like that, place a turtle egg in the middle, and then jump off of this thing. With trapdoors placed around a turtle egg sitting in the middle like that, the egg will still be there, and the piglins can see through it, but they will never be able to get to the egg. Now we go ahead and pull these blocks out right here. We're gonna need a trapdoor right there, and we're gonna need a trapdoor lined up perfectly in the middle right there. These trapdoors are gonna trick the piglins into thinking they can get to the egg. We're gonna go ahead and carefully do that on every single side here, then move back over to the scaffolding and do it one more time. We'll have to break a little bit of scaffolding to get down here, place a trap door, and open it. Next up, it's time for the next floor. From this block right here, we're going to build 1, 2, 3 blocks down, like that. Platform number 2 should sit at Y250. Now we're going to do it all again. From the scaffolding, we're going to move over 2 blocks or 1 block, depending on the direction, and make another magma block platform. This magma block platform needs to perfectly line up with the one above it. By lining it up perfectly, you'll have no problems with other mobs. So that's going to mean for me, 2 blocks out and then magma block platform right there, 2 blocks out and then magma block platform right there. And then finally, all I need to do is fill it all in and make sure it all lines up. I'll be right back. Just a tiny bit of building later, and now we have a farm that looks something like this right here. Because this farm is now starting to get a little bit bigger, piglin might start to spawn. Now back over at the middle of the farm, we're going to pull these 2 blocks out right here. From the middle this time. From the middle this time, we're gonna go ahead and drop a turtle egg right there and then do 2 trap doors. When we open them, they should line up perfectly with the other ones. Then we're gonna go ahead and do it again on every single side. Before you close up every single side though, this block in the middle right there, and take it out. The turtle egg actually doesn't have to be standing on anything to exist. Then go ahead and place the trap doors, close them, and then get the other trap doors in on the other side lined up with the middle. Once our platform sits just above our head and we have the trap doors in the middle, we go ahead and do it one more time. At least for today. We move down a couple more blocks, place some trapdoors right there. Our very final platform for today's build needs to sit on Y247. And now, well, you're professional, you know the rest. Using a bunch of magma blocks, make this platform line up perfectly with the layers above it. Fill it all the way in. For one final time, before we get off of this farm for good, we're gonna move back over to the middle, pull a couple blocks out, place a turtle egg, and then place trapdoors all around the turtle egg, just like before. Also, just like before, on this lowest turtle egg, again, remove that bottom block right there. We don't want that egg sitting on anything. When you're done with the top part of your farm, it should look a little bit something like this right here. If you're enjoying this tutorial and you haven't yet, consider dropping a like and subscribing. It helps me out huge time. And back over at the center of our farm, we're going to break scaffolding until we get to a specific Y level. We're going to set up the bottom of the farm now. Y231. At this Y level, we need to build a new platform out of non-spawnable blocks that is centered around that turtle egg. So that means you're going to find whatever block your turtle egg would be sitting on if it was higher up in the farm and build out 2 blocks in every direction. Then we need to pick a direction where we want to set up the rest of the farm. This part is your call, it doesn't matter. Pick a side of your 5x5 square and build 14 blocks out in a straight line. Now as you start to move away from your farm and build out here, zombified piglin will beautifully drop from the sky. As long as you don't hit them, there won't be a problem. Center platform 5x5 and then 14 blocks long, going out in one direction, 3 blocks wide. In the middle right here, we're gonna do temporary block, and then we're gonna drop a chest right there. You make it a double chest if you want, it's probably smarter. We're gonna do 2 hoppers going into that, and then 2 hoppers going into that side. 2 hoppers going into that side, and we're good to go. Now the room that you're gonna use this farm from is gonna sit on the other side of this chest hopper contraption over here. It's a good idea at this point to build a small platform for you to move around on. If you build a platform over here, continue to use non-spawnable blocks, or alternatively, maybe like slabs on the lower half of a block. If you built a platform over here by your chest on a spawnable blocks, 2 problems. Mobs could spawn over here, and mobs could spawn like a ghast up in the air and blow things up. And same exact thing goes for the rest of this platform right here. Now we need to catch a zombified piglin to put in that side of the farm so the piglin will stay mad at you the whole time. You got 2 options. Using a boat right here, drop it down to the bottom, push one into the boat, just one. Then get in the boat with this piglin and row your way over to the other side of the hoppers. Where you leave this guy doesn't specifically matter, so long as it is in a spot where it could actually see you. It'll make a little bit more sense when I'm using the farm in a minute, but like dropping a piglin right there, that would be perfectly fine. The only problem here is this piglin is going to be pretty low on health. A couple hits and it's gone forever. If you're worried about accidentally damaging your piglin and kind of breaking the farm, go back up to the platform, place a boat near the middle, and catch a fresh one. Once you've caught a fresh one, figure out where your platform is and make sure you're lined up perfectly with it. As long as you're lined up perfectly with the middle, your boat should drop down and be caught. Then you got a fresh piglin with full health. To finish up our platform today, it's time to make it a little bit safer for us to use over here. Using a temporary block, place one right above the chest, then grab slabs. We're gonna place a slab, leaving a half block gap right there. We're gonna go ahead and place 5 slabs in a straight line like that. We're gonna jump up on top of those slabs and place 5 more coming out towards the rest of the farm. The slabs in the front will keep us safe while using the farm. The slabs on the side will keep the piglins safe so we don't push them off the side of the farm like that. Using even more slabs, place more on top of those ones. Your top slab should end up sitting on a top half of a block. Last and not least today, the final thing to do before you start using this farm is move back over to the middle, swap the scaffolding or tower out, and then just get rid of the rest of the tower. It's probably a smart idea to rebuild this tower a couple blocks over so you can get up to the safe part of your farm. Over there is going to become really dangerous. A very easy way to realign yourself with this farm is from your safe area. Grab a block that'll fall, like sand or gravel, and drop it down. Back down to the bottom of the nether, you could break the bottom of your scaffolding, that'll go away. Then find the sand and build a new scaffolding tower from that block right there. And that's it. With everything good and safe place like this, it's time to use your farm. To activate the farm, take a bow and shoot one of the zombified piglin. Now, if you hit a zombified piglin and it goes away right away, you might have to hit another one, no big deal. You could use snowballs to aggro the piglins as well. They'll deal less damage. To take the piglin out, you can place another temporary block right there, jump up, and just swing at them like that. With all of your blocks placed correctly, they won't be able to get up. If standing up there makes you a little bit nervous, no big deal. Stand down here with your sword, swing, and you should be good to go too. Every once in a while, you get zombified babies in here. If you aim just right down at their feet, you'll be able to hit them down here too. With this zombie over here able to see me, every single new piglin that falls in the farm will instantly aggro at me and try and charge to get me. Another very final tip that I have for you today is to get a good sword. Maybe something that looks like this, sweeping edge, sharpness, and mending. With a good sword inside of this farm, look at this thing. I mean, the piglin already fall and they're taken out in like one hit every time. But with a good sword, you can clean these things up so quickly. The faster you're able to clean up these piglin, the faster more will be able to spawn. And so, my super simple save gold farm, that's it, you did it. If you happen to have any questions about the farm, drop them down in the comments below or over on the subreddit, and I'll try and get back to you. Like, subscribe, and maybe consider checking out this raid farm next, because, oh boy, that's a beauty too. Huge thank you to my patrons, Archangel, Ground Crazy May, Medical, Boomstick, Swoopy Louvers, Noodle Pork, Bill W, and Tanner B. You're the absolute best. It's been me, Waddles, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.